When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them, if they need you.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Pop Culture Justice. I am your host, Andy Signore, and I'm so happy to be here with my co-host today, Steph the Alter Nerd. How are you doing, Steph?
Hey up. I am doing very, very well. Good day today. How about you?
I love hearing that. Love when we have good days, and so happy to share it with Steph and all of you guys today in the Popcorn Planet community. I'm going to give you all one fair warning. Today is your last day to enter the raffle. We'll give you more details at the end of the show, so you got more specifics as more people get in the building. But don't forget, today is the last day. And if you're like, what raffle, Andy? Watch the end of the video or check out the whole members-only portion. Just a reminder, I always trim this, so you're going to see sometimes a half hour to an hour of what sometimes can be a 2-3 hour show. If you want to ever watch the full show, please hit that join button. Join, pick a level, and go from there. And we will not only have your support, but you'll be able to watch all the replays. So welcome to the show. Thank you guys for being here. We're live every weekday in the afternoon. It is called Andy time because it's just me setting things up for now. But we'll eventually get more on time. Schedules are happening. But I'm so glad you guys waited around. You're here. And today we're going to talk about Olivia Wilde. She's back in the news because she's doing damage control for her film that opens up. So she's got to spur up that drama again. And for those of you who weren't paying attention previously on the Don't Worry Darling drama, things got juicy, man. Florence Pugh, her actress, clearly doesn't want to be around her, doesn't like her. There's rumors that she was still upset over her breakup with Jason Sudeikis because she was married to Zach Braff, and anyway, lots of drama going on there beyond the fact that during the filming, Olivia Wilde seemingly was trying to get Shia LaBeouf back. Shia, and then said, Shia was bad news and fired him and blah, 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 blah. Well, Shia LaBeouf was like, girl, no, I got receipts. And dropped not only like receipts and everything else, but a whole video with Olivia Wilde getting exposed, like begging Shia to come back and telling Miss Flo that maybe she needs to get her act together and maybe then things will work out. It was a very bad look. Do you agree, Steph? Olivia Wilde was not looking very good given all the receipts that Shia LaBeouf, whatever people think of Shia regarding this specific issue, you agree Olivia Wilde was not looking good with the tea that was spilling.
Any conspiracy theory, whatever, she got owned by the receipts that Shia LaBeouf was like, "Is the receipts, lass? Shut your freaking gob, your cow bag." Like, seriously. Yeah.
He got it all in there.
See, there you go. You see?
Yeah, she got all
got away with words. Got away with words.
It was all there. And now on top of that, then they had the big premiere in Venice or whatever. And then there was a bunch of drama there because Florence was like sort of obligated to be there, but made a point to not be seen with Olivia directly, like always people in between and not any eye contact, et cetera, et cetera. She blew off the press junket and just showed up for the carpet to wave and then came. And then while all that was going on, Harry Styles seemingly, it's still unclear, spit on Chris Pine. Lots of debate and conspiracy over whether that happened or not. Anyway, it's been just a lot of massive drama and weird quotes from Olivia Wilde that didn't really make a lot of sense. So now the film's coming out. And I don't really want to see the film. I don't really have interest. We'll see if I get an invite or something, or if it's on something for free, maybe I will. But I don't really want to encourage this film's box office. Well, I think it's this weekend or next weekend. Anyway, I'm not here to plug the film. You guys can make your own decisions, but I just don't like the way it's been marketed. And I don't like what they've done to Florence. So Olivia Wilde, though, is out there doing damage control. And she showed up to Stephen Colbert. Now, I'll be honest, I like Stephen Colbert. I think I've always been a fan of his since The Daily Show days, The Colbert Report. He seems like a good guy, and he seems like he fits this genre of a nice, polite, talk show host. Some people just don't like him because of politics, etc. Fine, but I don't know. I don't beef with him. He's usually a puff piece, though, And I got to say, I was surprisingly happy to see Colbert was pushing back a little bit against her, was really trying to, put her feet to the fire, which I, always encourage and like to see even puff piece talk show hosts try to do. I mean, even the comments on his audience here were admitting, is it me or is he asking harder questions since his return? There was just comments in here, even there, that they were, happy he was challenging her a bit. And I got to be honest, I got to be careful. We're going to have to offer a lot of commentary as I play this because CBS is very litigious on their clips. So bear with me as I do interrupt and start and stop. Apologies in advance. If you want to watch it uninterrupted, you can go over to Stephen Colbert and you can watch it there. We are a news show, and this I feel like is newsworthy. Her reactions, so we can sort of digest and figure out, do we believe it? And so I want to play the portion about all the drama. So again, pardon me that I am going to have to pause.
That when you were here, we gave you a little director's chair.
Okay, they're talking about Booksmart and everything else.
Out of the gate. Yeah. So beautiful. Give anything.
The Booksmart was a good film.
Particularly didn't Booksmart.
All right, so he's smartly, like, butters her up with like, oh, Booksmart was such a good movie. I had no problem with Booksmart. It was a decent movie.
These are the things that.
So now here comes the drama.
Of feuds.
Right.
People analyzing body language.
Yes.
Private messages being released.
Yes.
Narratives and counter narratives.
Yes.
Olivia Wilde. Is there anything or nothing in that list you would like to clear up?
Now, again, he's really putting it out there for her, but he did at least put it all out there, right, Steph? And he's sort of putting it to her because he's in a spot. He's got to be a nice puff piece talk show. That's what he does. His bread and butter is the celebrities that show up to promote their movies. It is what he's not there to be hard-hitting journalist all the time. If he has the moment, he tries, but you got to understand Colbert's not there to grill her. But I at least applauded, and this probably was obviously prearranged. I'm sure he went to her in the dressing room prior. Was like, look, is it cool? I'm gonna ask you about this stuff. And she's like, probably, of course, yeah, because she has to, right? And so he smartly was like, look, here's the list. Here's the list of stuff. Would you like to, clear it up or no? Even gave her the option, because she could have just said no, and then he would have respectfully moved on, and we could have all seen that as a response in itself, right, Steph? So right up the gate, I say, all right, good. He's sort of handling it fairly. Do you agree?
Yeah.
He's there. Yeah. We're just offering our commentary, so that way when CBS tries to ding me, I'll be like, no, we offering commentary. This is fair use.
Well, it's kind of, it's interesting. The whole experience has sort of changed my way of thinking about the internet. And
she's already pivoting to her talking point. She's already sort of said this before, so you can tell immediately this feels rehearsed to me, prepared. And yeah, we're going to analyze this. As Colbert said, this is what this is about. So we're analyzing it. She's already going off in her talking point.
And how we choose to interact with it or not. But really,
how we choose to interact with it, you put it out there, girl. Like what? I'm so sick of Steph, of these celebrities and people trying to play. And it's like the Adam Levine OnlyFans girl. Girl, you put yourself there and we're clearly having an affair with the man. You don't get to play like you're innocent in all this. Olivia Wilde put it out there. There was no reason why she even needed to address the Shia stuff. She could have had a respect to Shia, been like, yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that. And no one would have cared. We would have moved on. This would have been a non-starter. Am I right? She keeps wanting to play like she isn't doing it. Does that frustrate you?
It frustrates me because it's automatically the internet's fault.
Yep.
Like, her answer, she literally, in the first freaking 2 seconds, says the internet. Like, I'm sorry, but yes. And she was the one that first came out and said all that stuff about Shia LaBeouf, this, that, and the other. Yeah. Internet's going to be responding to that. But the internet's only responded, the internet's only been saying stuff because of what she's been putting out there into the world. If she absolutely had a gob tight shut, then none of this would have happened. None of it would have come out. And quite rightly, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, hell yeah, Shia LaBeouf was like, yeah, I ain't standing for this, and came with the receipts publicly. And he only did that. He didn't do that off his own steam. He only did that after she came out publicly gunning for him, in a way. And so he had to defend himself publicly. And it all starts with her. Her turning around and saying, well, the internet's your damn fault. You stupid cow. Piss off, you cow bag. Seriously, piss off, you cow bag. Stop saying stupid
I'm not a fan.
shit, and the internet's not gonna be commenting on it. And especially when you get caught out with freaking receipts. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't really care about this woman. But the more that's come out, it's like, I don't know, there's something off here. I'm not trying to just pick apart her. She did this, and it's fair game when she does it. So, all right, here's more of her nonsense.
Really, it's kind of ironic because all of this is really what the film's
It's ironic.
about. The film is about
brings
the
it back to
narratives
the
we are
film.
fed and whether
Brings
we choose
it
to
back.
accept them.
The narratives
or
were
question their
fed
sources.
and whether we accept them. And question
as
sources.
you said, there were private messages that were...
They were private, guys. They were private. You mean, but they were the truth, and you were out there lying. And so he brought out your private messages because he wanted to make it clear that you weren't being honest. That's the only time you're allowed to do that. When you're really put to the test and your credibility is put against the wall, yeah, if someone can sort of claim their innocence when they're already being hammered from every which way direction, yeah, Olivia, they're allowed to be like, no, you're not telling the truth, because if he just said that, no one would believe him. So yeah, he brought it out, and the video clip, the private message, really made you look bad, girl.
Released without context to try to make a situation look like something that it wasn't. I, early on in the process of making the film, as the director, I tried to mediate a situation between people to try to see if they could work together happily.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got to pause again because, again, commentary, fair use, CBS, this is news. She's accusing a person, and we're a pop culture justice show that goes through it. There's a lot of texts and things that Shia has dropped. I really didn't want to show the text between Shia and Florence because I felt it was kind of unfair of Shia, because Florence hasn't really gotten involved, and it's clear she doesn't want to be involved. But Shia did drop receipts from Florence. I've seen them. I don't want to keep showing them off, but I will summarize them to say Shia and Florence didn't have a beef. And so it's you could see it in the text. They're having a friendly exchange. Everything's good. When it ends, they sort of like, best of luck. It seems like there's no bad blood between Shia and Florence. And Shia's made that clear in his recent statements. We've yet to hear from Florence about Shia, but you'd think if she had some beef, she'd probably, at least her reps or someone would try to, do it. But she hasn't. She hasn't come out and backed up Olivia. You know what I mean? She's purposely stayed out of it and let Olivia keep digging her own hole, in my opinion, right? So it's frustrating to me that now Olivia is painting this picture of a negative experience between Florence and Shia when there's no evidence of that. It's the only person saying that is the director now. And I'm sorry, girl, that video shows that you're like, please come back, blah, 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 blah. What's going on? You're not telling the truth.
Once it became clear that it was not a tenable working relationship, I was given an ultimatum. I chose my actress, which I'm very happy I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He left. Steph, this is ridiculous.
Time, was I bummed that we weren't able to make it work? Sure.
Andy.
There was a time I was bummed that we couldn't make it work? She's like trying to play herself to justify that video. Go ahead.
It's pledge, not donate.
Did she say that?
No, but it's the equivalent.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
What a cowbag.
Quit versus firing. He's like, yeah, well, I fired him, but he left. And they're going to get to that. Colbert's going to push that. And then she's going to blame it on semantics, even though she's the one doing the semantics. She's such a gaslighter. She's like, so manipulative. She's very confident and does it all. But man, I see right through this.
Information about him come to light later that made me confident we made the right decision.
Oh, you scumbag. A little knock at him. He's a scumbag, so I'm glad we did it. Then why were you begging him? You don't get to be caught begging him and saying Miss Flo needs to, get her act together, and then shame this guy after the fact in hindsight. No. Not on my watch. Not here on Pop Culture Justice. No. You don't get it. We were there. We watched the clip. You don't get to rewrite it and pretend like we didn't see it.
Absolutely.
So just to be clear here, did you fire Shia LaBeouf?
Bravo to Stephen Colbert, who literally interrupts this nonsense to be like, all right, can you stop babbling about this? Did you fire Shia LaBeouf? Finally, the question we want to know, right? Let's see how she answers this.
We had to replace Shia. He is a fantastic actor, but it wasn't going to work. And, when he gave me the ultimatum of, him or Florence, I chose Florence, and that was him feeling he was stepping away and me feeling like we were moving on without him.
So are you saying...
Wait. What?
The mental gymnastics with this lass is strong. The mental gymnastics is strong with this one. Wow. She's using all of her 2 brain cells into overdrive to come out with these answers.
It's wild. I need to hear it one more time. Sorry, that's what we do here. It's where because he interrupts her and he asks,
feeling like we were moving on without him.
okay,
Of, him or Florence. I chose Florence, and that was him feeling he was, when given, but it was,
wait, here it was.
he had to replace.
Did you fire Shia LaBeouf?
We had to replace Shia.
We had to replace Shia. So that doesn't sound like you fired him. That sounds like he left. We had to replace him. So he left, right? Because it's very clear. If I wanted to fire Steph right now, right? I'd be like, Steph, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. I'd do it all Trumpian. I'd be like, you're fired. And it'd be very clear that I fired Steph. Now, if Steph was like, Andy, I can't do the show anymore. I just can't be with Lewis. I got to leave. Then we would be like, all right. I guess you got to go. I understand. I don't really want you to go. But if you need to go, that's fine. That's Steph quitting. That's Steph leaving. There's a very clear, is it not clear, Steph, whether I'm like, you're fired or are you sure you got to go? Okay, well, you can't work this out. Got it. Is that firing if you were to do that, Steph?
Firstly, if you did that to me, I'd say piss off your cow bag before pretty much burning you down. Besides that, jokes, obviously. Besides that, I think you're not in a way hearing her. When you actually hear the language, the actual words that are coming out of her mouth, she's not actually answering that question.
Correct.
It's a politician's question. She's not actually answering whether she fired Shia or not. She's just under this umbrella saying he left. But under what circumstances did he leave? She doesn't clarify that. What are the circumstances? Did she fire him or did he leave off of his own accord? And so because she doesn't actually answer the circumstances of to which how Shia LaBeouf actually left the movie, this is a non-answer. This is a politician's answer. You analyze language coming out of her mouth. I tell you, politician's answer. The absolute cow bag.
Yeah, it is. It's an absolute cow bag. It's just wild because she literally is like, we had to replace him. He's like, did you fire him? No. Well, we had to replace him. So then, no, you didn't fire him.
He is a fantastic actor.
Not answering the question.
But it wasn't going to work.
Because he left. Wasn't going to work because you had to replace him.
And, when he gave me the ultimatum.
He gave you an ultimatum. I'm going to go. So she's trying to play like it's me or Florence is what Olivia's currently doing. And I'm guessing Shia's not going to like her doubling down to say that Shia made a demand that it was me or Florence, because I got nothing from any of the texts I've seen between Shia and Florence. That's nonsense. That is nonsense. And then Olivia worked with Shia on a music video after this, Steph, and then begged him, and then it didn't work, and she was all sad again. She kept trying to work with him. She didn't choose Florence. That's why Florence, I think, my opinion, my conspiracy, whatever, Florence is upset because she did choose it. And then she got all crazy on the set of the movie, making out with her boyfriend that rumors are she wasn't even there to direct half the movie because she was so into Harry Styles and trying to woo him.
Quite literally.
Yeah. So again, she still hasn't answered the question.
Of, him or Florence. I chose Florence, and that was him feeling he was stepping away and me feeling like we were moving on without him.
So are you
again, such a non-answer.
saying, just to be clear here, because this is what people are parsing, okay?
Yes,
and I am a
please,
tribune
clarity.
of the people to parse this.
So then Stephen Colbert's not buying. This is my point. He's not buying it, Steph. He's like, what is this non-answer? You're still not answering. But then he is gonna cover her for a bit and sort of feed her an answer just so they can move on.
Yes.
So are you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong,
yes,
that he would...
He can't even put it together. He's like, I'm trying to help you, and I don't know what the hell you're saying.
Didn't do the movie in the way that you wanted him to.
There was no...
And therefore...
And then Olivia's trying to interrupt him to answer it for him so she can continue her narrative, but he wasn't done.
Or he had to go so he can say he quit and
Yes.
you fired him and
Yes.
both of you can think you're
Yeah,
right?
It's a question of semantics.
No, but honest to God, is that it?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
it has to be this way, and he said, I can't do that, I'm leaving, and you
Yes.
said, well, then you're fired?
He said, well, then that's great. You go and we shall move on. And
Yeah. Did you hear her? She did not fire him. Well, then that's great. You can go move on. That's not firing someone, Steph. Am I nuts?
No, but she is.
If you're quitting and I'm like, well, great, Steph, you can move on. And then I went and reported that I fired Steph, the alternate, I would be lying, correct?
Yes, you would be a lying cowbag.
She's a liar. She's a complete liar. She said she fired him, and now she's under the fire, and Colbert is trying to push it there, and he won't push as hard as I'm going to push here, but she still didn't answer the question. I would ask again. Well, you just said, you let him go and you wished him well. That's not really firing, in my opinion. Did you actually fire him? Because he has beef with you, saying that you fired him. She doesn't want to handle that. She doesn't want to answer the question because now she's in trouble, right? Because she was caught, and she's got to be careful because he can sue her. He can go after her and do some moves if he wants to. And so I'm sure she's been coached to not say it again, but she still can't help herself in trying to control this narrative. And I don't like this woman.
And it was that, it wasn't going to move forward in the way that he wanted it to. And so he had to leave.
So who controls the
Yeah. Even, did you hear Colbert laughing at her? Colbert's like, okay, great, girl. You're really not going to answer this. So who can...
narrative of that story? Is it the star who gets to say they left or the director who gets to say you're fired? Because that's a big struggle on movie sets. Who's in control? The star or the director?
Yeah. Thank you for exposing her right there and proving the fact that, she wants to be the director who said, well, I fired him after the fact when he got Me Too'd and all the bad accusations came out. She wants to be the hero. I wasn't begging for him in other projects. I fired him. No, you didn't. You really wanted to work with him. He is a talented actor, love or not, whatever the point. He's a good actor, and he's problematic, and he's got to face his own issues in court of law. Let him defend himself. We'll see what happens. All things aside, he's a good actor, and I'm sure she was like, I want a good actor in my movie, because she didn't know all that other stuff right at the time, and that was later. And so she was begging and begging and begging. And now she has sour grapes and trying to play the hero. And I got such umbrage with that. That's such nonsense.
Olivia Wilde, I ask you.
It happens all the time. I think, every production, there's so many people who are in, who are out in the period of time leading up to any production.
And you don't fire the people who can't do it because of scheduling or who are like, well, I need this money and not that. That's not firing them. That's creative differences, or they had to go, or there's a lot of things that Hollywood uses. They don't say we fired them because they wanted this or they wanted that.
There's so many people who are in for a period and out for a period, and it's all a matter of resolving conflict. And anyone who's ever dealt with conflict knows that there are levels to it before there's a conclusion. Mm-hmm. And
She's just talking down to all of us,
In this case, everyone in the end ended up with what they wanted. He didn't want to be a part of the production we were making in the way I like to make productions.
Which without rehearsals and everything else, but then you were still trying to make him do it and tell Miss Flo that she would have to buck up and do it.
And so he moved on. We moved on and replaced him and ended up with a cast that I'm so proud of in a movie that I'm really thrilled about.
Right. And then you had to go in the press, lie about him and just to get some press and do all this nonsense. And that's why we have an issue with you. If you just, as Steph said, just shut your cow bag, and done that, your gob, your cow gob.
Yeah.
What did you call it? I guess you could shut it all.
Your cow bag.
If she had just shut her gob about Shia and not gotten stepped into the drama, all would have been better. But I will ask you, chat, what do you think? What do you think in watching that interview and everything that's had? Who do you believe? I want to put a poll out. If you're watching live, we'll put the poll out, but I want to hear your comments down below. Well, there you go. You're not going to miss this replay. We had the game Make Steph Laugh. And oh my God, that was fun. She did not find a lot of our stuff funny, but we found one. You're not going to miss that replay. It was so much fun for all you viewers. And don't forget the raffle ends tomorrow. So check my link tree if you want to get the chance to go to Vegas. Send it tonight or first thing tomorrow. It ends at tomorrow at noon. Right now we're going to send over to Lewis. He's there with his son, Andy. Go wish him happy birthday. They're at Disneyland getting a tour. They're stopped for some lunch. They're streaming. Let's send them on over. Send all the love to Lewis and send some also to Amy Goodhart. Steph the Alter Nerd. Make sure you subscribe, or better yet, hit that join. You can watch that replay with Steph and everybody else. Oh my God, it's fun. Hit join, pick a tier, and make sure you don't miss it. It's a lot of fun. All right, we're going to redirect you over to Lewis at Nerd Report. Go say hi. Say happy birthday, Andy. And we love you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.